Maromua Hawaii ki pia mo e ka inga tonga o e kolome na wasia e aho whakakoloa koe ni. Atu e kore whame mo rei he tuai e tau amata ko e ki mau mau whakateknikari pa koe ni ko lava mau pia mahano ko taimi ke tau kamata. Au tai tai loto whiawhia ki mo tau lana katoa pe ki he paenga o e Letio Vake Tali Folau pia me he wheunu koula ai tonga. Kei whamanatu atu ai te wheunu koula ai tonga ai ngahi mata i koloa o mahu inga ke tau puke puke a fufula. He tau whanonga me taimi ki tāni tinga tau te whitau ki he taimi o ku tau au he ai he ngahi whanua muri. Mahui ngā au ki tau ki tau ki puke puke aho tau whatunga motua. E mo tau tawa tuku whakaholo. Au kore a te motolo ke mo eki te ka shea te tau polokalama tai tai loto whiawhia heni. Ai hoa o e pure Emily Tofu. Emily Laukau Tofu. O malo atu, malo e kau mai. E hoke sita lomo. Au kore a te motolo whakawhei mai ho mo whamiri. Uke e si kau tō le kereka. O kunau si whaanaua ki ha polokalama whakatonga. Whanongo ki ha ngahi whasi whakatonga. Whanongo ki ha ngahi o talanoa whakatonga. Ko e taha ia o e paloparema o whetauaki mea mo e kau tau re reka he ngahi ahoni. Ko e feel lonely. E ko e na wongo i hange unau tuku hao sia. Hange unau ri e kina. Ako tui o ku i kai keri e kina pe kai ke nau tuku hao sia. Ako i ongo ia o ku i he si kau tau re reka i taimi o ku na hoholo ai e tō laa. Tako taha pe ia o e ngahi. Ongo ki he si kau tau le kereka. Ko taha ia o ngahi monu ia o ki tau tōlu ki Tonga. Ko e tau mo ui whakawhamiri. O ku tau nofo whakataha, po tala noa whakataha. Kai he taimi lahi o ku ongo i he kau tau le kereka o hange unauri e kina. Ko ia o atu peha whangi whasi. Ko kone hiri pe ko ia au tau kamatarema.
Taenga o Letio Vake Tali Folau. Ai whakawhihawa o Tonga I he kolope. This is Radio Vake Tali Folau, where Tongans can connect globally.
Io che Letio Vake Tali Folau ni ho e mo kainga ko e whetaulaki anga o Tonga I he kolope. This is a Tongan Global Network. Radio Vake Tali Folau, where Tongans can connect globally. Ko kore ke tala mo ka pui I he tala kakato e whanua pe mo loto. Pe mo ngahi tala whakatapu ko toa pe ko a whaki atu pe a mi he painga o e Letio Vake Tali Folau. I he ngalu ea pe mo ngalu o pe whakamalo atu ki a emeritofu pe a mo sione tualau makahiri. I he whakahoko mai e tau ngahi POLOKALAMA talu me ane heng heng. O aku mai ki he momeniti ko e ni. E koi ai o ko I he ni ke whakahoko atu ai POLOKALAMA ko e ni ai whe unu koula e Tonga. Pe hange ko ia o ku mou toka mea I ko e POLOKALAMA ko e ni o ku me mei te fito ke whakamanatu mai ke te tau tolo aho tau whatunga motu a. Pe o ko tui whakapau o ku mahu inga ke whakamanatu mai tau te fito e taimi o tau I he ngahi whanua muri ai. Ai mahu inga ho tau whatunga motu a. Mahu inga o e tala tuku whakaholo. Mahu inga e wha I ka vei koula. Ko iai a ho tau identity ko e Tonga. O ku tala I ki tau tolu ko e kakai ununganga whakaapa-apa. Uluati ia o e wha I ka vei koula. Ko e whakaapa-apa. Pea ku tala ai ko e kakai ki tau tolu. Ko e kakai tau hiwa. Taha ia o e wha I ka vei koula. Pea ko tui o tau o sia usia ko toa pe. Ai tau hiwa, tau e tau tupu hake I Tonga. Mohono whakahino-hino he tau tamai mo e tau whae. Ai awe o e ki preti mea kai ki he kaunga api. Ko e kamataanga ia hono a ko I ki tau tolu he tau KCE. Ke tau ilo ai mea ko e tau hiwa. Rua ki tau hiwa mohoto kaunga api. Ko e tala ia pea mo e whekau ai otua. Ke tau ofa ki ho tau kaunga api. Tau whakamore-more. A ho tau kaunga api. Pe ke tau whe ofa o whani. Whe piki take nima pea mo ho tau kaunga api. Pea o ku whakaha mai he wha i ka Vake Tali. Ko e kakai mamahi I mea ki tau tolo. Kakai ki tau tolo o ku tau ofa pe tau mamahi a ho tau tonga. Peko tui koe taha o e mooni o ku whioma o ke tau whakaha I ai e tau mamahi a ho tau tonga. E tau oange ki he hingoa tonga. A hingoa o ku namu kakala. A hingoa o ku whakaafo ofa. A hingoa o ku tāla ai koe tonga, koe kakai lelei. Pea o tau tui kotoa pē, koe tonga kotoa pē o ku ne mamahi. A hono tonga. Tonga mo unga ki he loto. O tua mo tonga ko hoku tofia. Ko taha ia o e ngahi kupu I lea o ku ne hanga o whakaha mai ke te tau tolu. A mahu inga ke tau mamahi. Mamahi I ka tau mate aki ai hingoa tonga. Hike ke lawa hea taha ke ne to'o a ho tau tonga mea te tau tolu. E lawa ke tau mawahe pea mi tonga. Lawa ke whakamawahe ha taha pea mi tonga. Kake ke lawa, ke lawa, ke to'o a hono tonga mea te iau. Tatau ai pepe ko whea whetu I mamani tene au he ai. E ke tonga I pe ia o au ki he ene mate. Pere ongo koe tau au he mai whanua koe ni whanau I tau whanau I Amerika. E ke ui peki nau tolu koe Tongan Americans. O koe piwa American. Ka koe kakai tonga Amerika. Pe koe kakai Amerika tonga. Koe ia whakarawangi peki tau kei puke a fufula mamahi a ho tau whatonga motua. Kako taha whoki o e wha I ka Vake Tali o kune whakaha mai koe kakai loto tō ki tau tolu. Kakai ki tau tolu tau mao e loto tō ke tau tokoni, loto tō ke tau wahe. Ai ngahi mea o ku tau mao o koe koha kakai sio kita ki tau tolu. O koe ki tau sio ke tau whalute pē ai ngahi lelei o I kai ke tau wahe ki ho tau kaunga api. Koe ia koe whiunu koula ia tonga, ho e koe kainga, e whakamanatu mai ke te tau tolu, ai mahu inga ke tau puke ho tau wha I ka Vake Tali, tau tala tuku whakaholo. Koe ia, ko au sanis pome, koe taimi ni pea me he kolo, kau angelo me Los Angeles, Hollywood, California, koe osia minite uanoa pea me he hongo fulu maua, pea o tari loto fia ki motolu, o ku motoki kau mai, o whātu pea whakatawangi peke whaitā koe kina ki motolu e o tua pea mo ngahi whāpiri. E tukuangi he ni kia siare yongi kene tari aki motolu, aki ai ngahi. Greetings from the South Pacific Islands. Tonga, Malo Lele, Fiji, Isambulaka, Samoa, Talofalama, in New Zealand, Aotearoa, Kia ora, in Hawaii, aloha. But here in America, we say happy, fia. Tätä luoria haluaa pudoveen kiire painaa Letio Vake Tali Folau ja POLOKALAMA ko enia se kolla Tonga. Tätä luoria henia KB Haft mo Bruno Haft. Whakamaloa tu maloa whakahoko whatongia mai POLOKALAMA ko ia United Kingdom of Foa o ia ofa lahi atu. Bruno Haft mo Eleanor Katie Haft ai whai whatongia. Whanuku ngungu tau, whamaloa tu maloa si kau mai, ofa lahi atu dia te koe. Pe whoki kia salamasi na whare tui papai. We proud kids, Tongans, American, malo. Io mo ne opito salamasi na whare tui papai tiweti. We are proud Tongans. Tau te whito ke tau whanau, i he ki whai aho ko ni koe, fuatari e kia a junior. Ngai mea le leina ku mātā he aho ko ia uluaki, koe whetaki nima ai ka inga Tonga, regardless o e tui mo toka te rine o tau kau ki ai, pia mahino mai o ku mahu inga ange, aho tau Tonga, kia te ki tau tolu. Pea, koe tahaia o e ngahi i misi whakawhaofa na ku mātā, i he ki kātoanga koe ni nai toki osi. Pea o ku atua ia whakamālo kia te mou tolu hono kotoa pē, na mou kau mai ki he ki POLOKALAMA ko eni, i he tokanaki. Pea ngone lau ko ia salamasi na whare tui papai. Koe, he tai loto whewhia henia. Douglas Tukia, malo mo se nisi ngā ue mai mihena o whātu. O whātu Douglas, malo ai kau mai, malo hano share o e POLOKALAMA. E whoki ki Malavina ka toa whalahola, tahai ni o e kau pou malohi ki he Letio Vake Tali Folau, nau share, nau whakarea mai. Whamalo atu Malavina ka toa whalahola, malo ai share o tau POLOKALAMA, pia whakarea mai a Malavina ki a si moa whakailoa Tonga, ai ofa atu ki a te koe. Si moa whakailoa Tonga, koe tahai au e. Whewhine aonga au pito, ki he kainga Tonga, o tatau pe hawhitu upe Amerikani. Peko Texas, peko Los Angeles, peko Seattle. Whewhine ko niu ne tokoni almost wheitu ukotoa i Amerikani. Ke oku whakamanatu mai e si moa ki a te au, a taha o e kau mounga whewhine, na tok whakahoko hono birthday i he weekend i koe ni ku osi, ko oloka fifita. Oloka fifita, pe ko oloka se kona fifita. Whewhine ni o ku aonga au pito. Udano koe ni ko wa usia, hena aku ngā ue whakataha pia mo oloka i he kulupu pe ko society ko ia Tonga, na iloa ko Tongan Alliance of America. Na mau kau ki ai pia mo e whanau ko ia Naioka, whamiri mataere. Whanau a Naioka pia mo laki mataere. Ai ni koe kuiai e kulupu hiwa Kontiki. Kuiai e nau hiwa ko ia koe mali e. Whau ia a laki mataere, whekau aki pia moho tau whatunga motua. taimi o tau folau ai ngai fonua muri, ke ua na angalo aho tau tupu anga. Koe whewhine koe ni ko olo ka whiwhita. Koe ke ngata i he ene ngā ue ke hake aki i ai kau Tonga, ka ko ene whenga ke puke a fufula, a ngahi matai ko loa mahu inga ko ia ka tau te whito ki he whakaapa-apa. Olo ka mua whoki o kune wā ofi au pito, ke a mo whalelahi, tau te whito ki he kuini whehuhu ko ne unga whanua, kuini halai walu mata aho. Pea koe whewhine koe ni o kune tau kei i he tauhi hou eiki, o kune tau kei i he tauhi e whamiri, pea o kune tau kei i he tauhi e mau luta, o e kakai tō ngā hange koe ana ku whakahoko atu, mau ngā ue pea mo oloka i he Tongan Alliance of America. Pea mahino ai kia te au i he ngā ue koe ni koe pea mo oloka whiwhita, ko hono mafu ke langa hake ai Tonga. Ne ongo ene taule ke reka, ka ko hono mafu o kune whuaki kia te ia e iwi, kune mau iwi ai, kene ngā ue, kene whakaha, ki he kakai Tonga. Whia mau ke tau wala whakataha, whia mau ke tau whetakirima whakataha, whia mau ke tau langa hake aho tau Tonga. Mea pāngona e si more atu nai oka mataere, ko e Palestini o e Tongan Alliance of America he taimi ko ia. Pea toi more atu, pea mo taha o ne whanau, woka mataere, ko e tokataha e ni nai mahu inga o pito, i he mau whakahoko ko ia Tongan Alliance of America, i he ne whai e mea ko whetu utaki. Woka mataere, nā ne toi kau whoki i he kulupu i loa ko ia, ko e nono singa, nā ane tā ki tā ai, tā nafa, pene toi whakahoko, pea mo e ngahi o au kehe, lolotonga ene i he nono singa. Kulupu i loa eni i Amerikani mo mamani, taulahi e nau wina ai whiauhi tahiti. Pena kaua ia woka mataere, pa pehe kia arisi, ale fosio. Pe whanau koe ni, nā nau mate aki ai Tongan Alliance of America. Ka koe mea pango nau si puri atu, pe hange ai pe uholo, ai kulupu aonga mo mahu inga ko eni. E taimi ko ia na mau kei whengau e aki ai pea mo e Tongan Alliance of America, kei mo uia nai oka, kei mo ui pea mo woka mataere, kei mo ui pea mo laki, nā mau whaakau i he aho ko ia o e Hawaiian Day, o ku whakahoko ia i Long Beach. Pea koe aho koe ni whakau atu ki ai e kulupu koe ni. O whakari atu ai ngahi matai koloa ko ia Tonga. Pana iai whoki ai aho koe aho o e Tongan Alliance of America, pe koe aho e pe koe Tongan Day. Nai whakahoko ia i Torrance, i he city conventional center ko ia i Torrance. Koe ngahi lele ia na e mau i he kei ngau e whakataha pea mo whanau koe ni a lisi woka ka mana yoka. Ia e nau ngahi connection lele ki he city, ki he ngahi kulupu entertainments, o nau kau mai ki he aho ko eni. O ku kei whai a e whainga ke kei whakawhoki mai e ngahi koloa mahu inga ko ia na ngā wei oloka pia mo laki mataere pia mo woka ngā ioka ka oku ke mau ai kakai ke nau o mai he ngā ue koe ni. I taimi ko ia koe na ke whakahoko ai Tongan Alliance of America na iai ai wike na ui koe kemi ai whanau tonga ai nuk na fie ako ki he ulunganga whakatonga, ako ki he taulunga whakatonga, ako ki he ngahi lea whakatonga, ako ki he ngahi whaimea tokoni whakatonga. Ai ko fu ke ka kato na mau whakahoko ai ken koe ni. Pea anai fu matua ki ola le lei au pito na au ki he me toko walu ngo fulu ai whanau na tau le sisita. Ko e nau fie ako ki he whaiwa whakatonga na ku whakaunga tā maki ai no ako i ai whanau i he tau o lunga kai o maa whaha i ula mo ngahi whaiwa tuku whakaholo a tonga. Hange koe maa ulu ulu. Pea i he si more atu ko ia na ioka woka mataere pea kamata ke more atu ai lau maari e ko ia na e whai ati a ngau e koe ni. Kau whaamu ke to ia taimi to whaafoki mai ka koe hinga ko ki tau tolu koe ni o tau matu o tu a ka ko hinga koe ka haku o whanau. Koe ki wike eni koe ni koe na e whakahoko ai tari eiki ko ia o mafoha James Jr. Na e whakahoko i he whalaite ki mua e tokonaki ko ia na e celebrate ai tari eiki a Junior. Ai aho koe whi auhi ai ngahi apiako i he high desert. High desert o kaua Victorville, Hesperia, Adelando, Apple Valley, o lere ai o aloa'u ki San Diego, Pasto. I he tau ki muana e mau e he high school o Pasto ai whi auhi ko eni. I he tauni na e mau ia e he high school Sultana. Ai ko POLOKALAMA ko eni o whakahoko ia i he ngahi apiako high school i he high desert. Pea nai kau atu ki ai ho maong o whewhine ko Salote na ne kau ia i he kulupu ko ia Sultana High School. Paulina na ne kau ia i he kulupu ko ia Silverado High School. O nau whi auhi ai pea mo Pasto High School ai a ko ki nau tolu na nau ikuna e o ngota umai ki mua. Ka ko mea nau whakatoka ngai i he POLOKALAMA ko e ni. Whangi whanau nau whakarea mea ko ni i he ki katoanga ko ni ko e fuatari eiki a Junior. E na e o mai e ki whanau ko ia na nau kau he whiau ko ni o nau entertain i he aho tokonaki o na e whai ai celebration o e tari eiki a Junior. Ko mea nau kuhanga whakatoka ngai ko e taha o kulupu ko ni ko a Silverado na nau mei lahi. Practice mai ki ho maapi. Whakita mai ki Hamoa, whakita mai ki Tonga. Ko te sio ko ia ko e ki he mafu e whakita mai ki e nau whuka amu. Ke nau show aho nau identity ko e Tonga. Pe ko e Samoa. Ai nau whenga o nau tūku i ngā tā. Ke nau whakahoko. Ai ngahi tau o lunga tuku whakaholo. Ta tau be whanau Tonga, me whanau Samoa. Na e na whakato wako. Ako e tamai ki haamoa, e taulunga whakatonga, ako e tamai ki tonga, e taulunga whakahamoa. Pena whakahoko kakato, ai ngahi polokalama ko ia, pako taimi ko te siwa ki ai. Whangata e ke te tala i kita, pako toko taha koe nai whanau i haamoa, pe whanau i tonga. Pena whakahoko i he, i katoanga ko e ni. None of them were born in Tonga, either Tonga or Samoa. Naka i whanau i hataha ia ia nau tolu i Tonga pe ko haamoa. Ka kono hinga ko e nau proud to be Tongans, proud to be Samoan. Na nau whainga ke nau wako, a e nau tauolunga whakawhonua. Pea ko te sio ki ai ke nau proud to be Pacific Islanders. Pacific Islanders, Tonga, Samoa, Fiji, Tahiti. Te ko te alwai ki PCC ki Hawaii. Te alu ki PCC pa te sio ton wai i he nau ke hanga o puke puke. Ai ngahi tala tu whakaholo tau te whito ki he ngahi tau o lunga i PCC. Hoko ia ko e ngahi taki mamata ki Hawaii i he Pacific Cultural Center. Nau whakari ari ai ulunganga whakawhonua o au ki he kawa, o au ki he anga o e wau e niu, o au ki he hoka ko ia e niu. O au ki he kaka he ngai fu niu o tori ko e niu, maka tokalahi a motoru mo o si. Mamata i he ngahi show ko e ni whakahoko mai pia me Hawaii. Ka koe taha io e ngahi POLOKALAMA o ku mahu inga ke tau sio ki hono puke puke a fufula a e tau ulunganga whakawhonua pia me Pacific Islands. Ai tau whemia tokoni, ai whei umu, ai ngahi lu, ai wau ai mei, ai tatau e niu, ai wau e niu. Ngahi mea kātoa ko e ni. O koe ki te maua whitu. Ka koe otu motu Pacific ipe. Te Pacific Islanders. Pea oku e oku wakai koe ni koe whangi whanau ko e ni. I he taimina na whakahoko ai e tau o lunga whakatonga e nau fear to show off a e nau tare niti i he tau o lunga whakatonga. Pea o totono ki tau tolu mātua, ki tau wala atu pou i ki nau tolu. Whakaloto lahi i ki nau tolu. Talange o kumo whai e ngā ue lelei. Kono hinga ke nau kei hoko atu. A hono whakahoko e nau ngahi whaiwa whakatonga. Pea koe kulupu ko ia na nau i kuna, South Tana High School. Nai whai ai tau o lunga tuku whakaholo ai kau haamoa. Aia e siwa whakahaamoa, whakahoko e hatau po o haamoa. Pea na e hanga e he maki o whewhine ko Salote ana seini po me e. O whai e tau o lunga ko e ni i he whiauhi ko e ni. Nane hoko ko e tāpo o haamoa, nane whakahoko ai e tau o lunga ko e ni. Pea i kuna ai e kulupu ko e ni a Salote, nau mau ai ipu o e wawhe ua nima. Pea o ku tau whiwhia tau sio ki taine tonga, o ku ne alu o whakafofonga ai siwa whakahaamoa, o i kuna ai a pia koko e ni. Pea tarau we mo te sio ki he whanau haamoa e nau tau o lunga whakatonga. Pea whakamahino ai ko haamoa pea mo tonga, ko whamiri pe etaha. Whamiri pe etaha. Lahi e whemari aki. Ka ngoloto ke u whakahoko atu ai ki i pōpoa ki whekau ngā mamahi. koe taha hoku toko ua tau te hina tamai. Nā ne nofo haa mua he taulahi. Ka koe taha hono nā he foha. Nā ia hono o whewhine. Nā whakahoko e ne mari I he tau kuosi. Tau kuosi. Ko Maria. Koe whanau ena a alofi po me. Koe tau potu ki tō matau. Koe tamasi ia I he sotia. Ne maolunga he sotia. Pea o ku whakahingoa ia ki a alofi po me. Hoko atu ai koe taha ono whangato whawhine. Koe taha whanau whewhine a alofi. Pea hoko atu ai koe whikaua ia I he whanau tangata a alofi. Hoko atu ai koe whika whā mi tō matau ko mako. Koe ofine lahi ia o alofi. Hoko atu ai ko Malia. Koe taha ia o he whanau. Koe whangamoko puna o alofi. Koe ne tamai ko Perenato. Kana e ngauhi ia e areki. Areki o kune taupotu ki tō hema I he ata ko ena. Pea hoko atu pia ia areki. Koe taha o e whanau a alofi. Pea pehe ki he hoko atu ai. Koe ne whanau katoa na alofi. Ai na whakahoko e Maria Malia. Pea moe tamasi I koe na o kuna tuku I loto suti uri uri. Ka hoa. Koe I whanau koe ni whanau whewhawha. Ka koe whakaloloma. Ki tahine koe ia nai Maria Maria. Na e whakahoko katoa ai Mari e areki. Pea mana hoa. Ai ako kinaua na nahanga o ohi mo tauhi a Malia. Ko alofi pea mo fifita po me e na nau nofo haa moa he taulahi. Nau nofo haa moa he taulahi pea hoko ai a alofi ko e tauhi ia I pango pango. Nau ngau e whakataha ai pea mo e tangata ko te vita moi moi. Tō uako o toko lahi I a whoou na na wako I a te vita moi moi. Pea ko te vita moi moi pea mo alofi po me e. Na na kau I hono ngawe. Ai siasi I pango pango. Pea ohi a ke ai e whanau ko e nā. Ai a koe whoha lahi o alofi ko Pelenato. Pelenato po me koe whoha lahi a alofi. Ai a koe lahi taha ia I he kau whanau tangata ko e nā. Pea hoko ki ai a Eleminoti. Whika ua. Whika tolu pe ni tō matau.
Tau ka mamahi, tau ka amosia, tofu masiva, tuku sia. Natu I pāmai ka hapa. Ena o tau. Sika puma. Olangi, o tau apima.
Malu-malu tu pe tala whakatapa, tala malu whulua. Kai whakahoko atu. Koe lahi taha I he whanau koena. Ko pele nāto ko me. Aia koe tamai ia a Maria. He ata kuna e whahoko ne Maria tapu osi. Ua tari ko au. Pe atala mafua pele nāto. I he ui a tamai he mani. Ai ko pere nāto koe ofe koe tamai ia a Maria. Na whakahoko e te Maria. Koe lahi taha ia I he whanau a alofi te amo fifita o me. Alof o me pia me kiri te fua. Pia mo fua motu. Fifita o me e. Pia me wheretoa. Pia mo huma. Mawao. Wana fua lahi. Tamai ia a Maria. Na whahoko ne Maria tapu osi loto. Ai weke ne lava mai ki he Maria. Kako ne hui mahafu he ahoni. Kone tau e tau lelei. Kone lava ia whakapue. Kone tātalo mai. Whamiri. Maheni. Kau ngā whanonga pirikimi. Mau hoko atu ai whanonga. kau fok ki ap ki he tamai tari ki motoro haa te mo fok yang ai ki api mo te teo he tau tamai ki a aho te ne ui ai ki tau toka he nonga mo e fia maari e ai kotua pere nato ome Whahoka tua e whekau mamahi ki a ere minoti ai a koe whikau ai a he whanau o ne tongi ai tu unga o e lahi koe lahi taha ia i he ahari e whoki ki a aleki ko me e ki a alofi tiungi a ko me e whoki ki a mako o toi ngā o e whangatua whawhine Whanawake o tua ke ne whaki atua nonga mo e whia maari e ia te motoro Io whamaloto pito hoi makainga o mo kei kau mai ki he polokalama ko e nea se unu koula e Tonga. Ko e manatu ki he tupu anga, ko e tahaia a ho tau tala tuku whakaholo. Neonga e tau au he i he whonua muri, kai peke ngalo e ki fulalo akau, ki kolo mo e api na tau tutupu ai, mo e tau whanga kui i Tonga. O e ngalo e tupu anga. Whamaloto ni ki a soana tau tua aunge, whamanatu mai, mo e si whalakiko a sisi po me e, i kai asi he tā o i Tonga pe malo. Whamalo atu soana tau tua a, i o kataha ia o e whanau, i whangatau te hina ko e nā, o kai ki asi he tā, na i kai kene lawa mai ki he mari ko ia a Maria he tau po o si. A kune nofo pe i makawe wawau, ano hingoa ko whalakiko. Whalakiko ko e hingoa ia e putangata eiki, na e whakatau hingoa ki ai, taha e whanau a save. Pea koe taha o e whanau a sete ko a lofi. Pea ko a lofi ko e ne whanau ena. Ko sete ko lahi ia i tangata eiki. Pea na e whanau i ne whanau, ko e lahi taha ko perenato. Pea kauai pea mo whalakiko ko whakahingoa ia ki tangata eiki. O taha whoke ai whanau ai toko ua pe taha o whalakiko ko savelio. O ko whakahingoa pe ki tangata eiki ko whalakiko. Nofo ia i Nusila, whalakiko po me mahalo. Toko lahi e whahinga i Nusila nau i loi. A whalakiko ko e whaihiwa ia Avondale mahalo. I he peki o fuma o le rei ka koe taha ia whahiwa ngahi community i Nusila. Whamaloto eni ki a taitalo te whitihani a siosi ani tā manus. Tai manusa, whamalo atu pe whoki a Luciane la waka une ki he tau tolu o whalahi atu te koe Luciane, malo ai whaifatongia. Malo ai whakahoko ai ngahi tokoni lahi ke kainga tonga whakarea mai a. Luciane malo ai whaifatongia se Miss Waliti, and God bless you. O whalahi atu Luciane, tokoni ho tau kakai. Hange a Luciane ia ko olo ka fifika. Whahoko ai ngahi whatongia ke tokoni i ho tau kakai ke langa hake a Tonga. Koe whamalo atu Luciane. Pe whoki ki a Malavina ka toa whalahola, whamalo atu ne ke heni mo ki tau tolu. Whahoko mai e salamasina whare tui papai, malo sa alo te po mea ngā uelelei. Ai na whahoko atu na ne whai e ta olunga siwa tāpo o haamoa. I he whiau hiko ni ai ngahi api ako i he Pacific Islanders dancing groups. Te maui a he kulupu ko e ni a Saltana. Te ko Salote na ne whai a e siwa pe ko taulunga whaka haamoa ko ia tāpo o. Whahauka te ofa, linsi ke te koe mikilangi. Whanuku ngungu tau ofa atu malavina, ma whiloaki mo mikilangi, mo fia, ma whiloaki e beautiful mikilangi hana teu whakarata. Ko ia whamalo atu whanu, moni apito. Kei talawou pea a mikilangi. Ako tui koe ui ngā koe ne loto lelei, mo ui fia, pia mo ofa ki he kakai. E ke hoi me ka inga koe tau taimi he taimini. Tau taimini koe osem ni te tolu pea mei he taha hoata. E ko tui peo taimi ke o atu haatau ngahi ongo. Tau kamata ki pe ki i. Ongo koe ni kai mua ke set up e. Screen ni ke. Lawa ke mo me alelei mai ki he. I he aho tokanaki. Nai whakahoko ai ai laka pe koe parade ai US Army. Koe US Army ta ue uangiau ni manoa ona whakotuu ai US Army. Koe ki vitio koe ni koe i tahine na ne hiva i he lotu whakawhanua koe National Prayer Service na ia Palestini. Kia pehe whoki ki Melanie, First Lady Melanie Trump. Wait, if you would... Oh, sorry. Skip the commercial. Sorry atu ko i ma oe. Hiwa i kita hine ko ni nai. Asia i ai. Loi mata i ai. First Lady. Hiwa i kita hine ko ni. Pero mo ke hoko atu ki he laka ko ia US Army Amerikani.
Changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle.
Today's front lines of freedom. Before there was a nation, there was the United States Army. From the hallowed ground of Yorktown's first stand to the unwavering readiness at Fort Bragg today, and onward to West Point's next generation of leaders. For 250 years, one force has stood ready, unshaken, unmatched, unbreakable. And today, the legacy rolls on. This is the United States Army's 250th Anniversary Parade. Representing our joint forces, please welcome the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan King.
Hiyo ko e katonga ene ta ue ua ngea ni manoa o Army i Amerikani. Marie! Marie!
The Secretary of the Army, please welcome the
Marie.
Honorable Daniel P. Driscoll.
Marie! Marie! Are you taking the blue car? Yeah, leave the white car out.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Secretary of Defense, the Honorable Pete Hegseth.
You ready for the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth?
Ladies and gentlemen, the Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance, accompanied
Vice
by the
President
Secretary of the
J.D.
United
Vance.
States, Unsha Vance, and their 3 children.
Modul na digay mo me aki he ta uangel ni manoa ko ia military Amerikani pangamari ni mo me amayai ta uangel ni manoa.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, and First Lady Melania Trump.
Ako sa bibigyan mo birthday ko ia o President Trump. No ta ufito ko po mawa First Lady Melania Trump. Ko e whana whakapaapai ni. Ko e ta'o e ua ngeo ni manoa o e US Army. Trend te kakai USA.
Ladies and gentlemen, to honor America, would you please rise for the singing of our national anthem?
Ko e first whakawhanua ni. American National Anthem.
Israel launched Operation Rising Lion, targeted military operation, rolled back the Iranian threat to Israel's very
Before we even had a country, we had an army.
They started as a small, unorganized group of shop owners and farmers, but they fought the most powerful army in the entire world to a standstill in Concord, Lexington, and Bunker Hill.
Then our Continental Congress chose George Washington as general of our Continental Army.
But it wasn't until 1 year later, on July 4th, 1776, that news arrived with the signing of our Declaration of Independence.
Now we had a new army and a new nation.
With little gunpowder, no shoes, bloody feet, few cannons, little training, and even less.
Valley Forge started in December. They went into winter camp in December of 1777. Approximately 2,000 Americans died that winter of disease.
They lived through hell, but they never ever gave up. Not this army, not this first American army.
Finally, Washington and his army arrived here at Yorktown, where they had General Cornwallis and his powerful British army trapped in this city against the sea.
All of the preparation that Washington has learned through the course of those 6.5 years meets its full force here at Yorktown, and he employs it brilliantly.
Sailing from the Caribbean, the French Navy arrived and took on the British fleet.
Washington decided to make his move. Our men began digging to get closer and closer to the fort, finally getting within rifle and cannon range. Naturally, George Washington chose to set off our first cannon shot.
The British had two small forts in front of the main fort, They were called Redoubts 9 and 10.
Then, on the moonless night of October 14th, the American and French forces attacked the redoubts. The hand-to-hand combat with bayonets, knives, and fists was bloody, to say the least. But within an hour, we were victorious.
And as the sun came up the next day, Cornwallis looked out and realized he was in serious trouble. So he prepared an all-out, desperate counterattack.
It didn't work, and the British were forced to surrender.
We were supposed to lose to the best army and the largest and most professional navy in the world.
But our young army had won the war and our freedom, the freedom we hold so dear. And 250 years later, for what started as a ragtag group of shop owners, has now become the most powerful army in the world.
Today, many things are very different from that army here at Yorktown, but one thing remains the same: an undying passion, guts, and love for our country. It's deep in the heart of today's army. When I look into their faces, you can see it. That will never change. God bless the United States Army, and God bless the United States of America.
There's DIY, and there's doing it yourself. It's the difference between being creative and
Canada parade, the U.S. Army, documented by football, colorful flag, Army, Navy, military, Air Force. The most powerful army in the world. Kau-kau, kau-kau malo ito kay mama niya. May ahang ito ng nangyari. The U.S. Army Band.
Ladies and gentlemen, our parade is officially underway. Up first, internationally renowned as one of the world's finest professional music organizations, the United States Army Band Marching Zone. They are the premier music organization of the U.S. Army, our nation's most senior service. Stationed at Joint Base Meyer-Henderson Hall, Virginia, it plays an important musical role in events of national and international significance. They were founded back in 1922 by Army Chief of Staff John J. Pershing. They're led today by Colonel Bruce R. Pulver and Drum Major Ron Moore. Today, Pershing Zone is playing a melody entitled "The Army Goes Rolling Along." This was actually written in 1908 by the then Lieutenant Edmund Louis VI Gruber, which was a descendant of French Gruber who composed Silent Night. It was originally written to be the 5th Artillery Regimental song titled "The Caissons Go Rolling Along." And in 1956, the lyrics were revised by Harold Arberg as the official song of the U.S. Army, and then retitled "The Army Goes Rolling Along." Pershing Zone carries on its century-old legacy, playing a march that brings pride to every soldier. The Army Song. The 3rd Infantry Regiment in the U.S. Army. Established back in 1784, the unit was dubbed the Old Guard by Major General Winfield Scott during a victory parade in Mexico City after the Mexican War. It is the U.S. Army's official ceremonial unit and presidential escort, conducting year-round tactical training to ensure the highest standards and utmost discipline of its soldiers. The unit routinely represents the U.S. Army and our nation in official ceremonies, major sporting events, and their own, the U.S. Army's own Twilight Tattoo. The Old Guard also maintains 24-hour vigil of the tomb of the unknown soldier, while also conducting funeral services honoring our fallen heroes at Arlington National Cemetery. The regiment's 50 campaign streamers stand as a testament to its long, faithful service to our nation. Ladies and gentlemen, the 3rd Infantry Regiment, the Old Guard. In 1775, the shot heard round the world and Concord sparked a revolution, uniting 13 colonies and forging a continental army from farmers and frontiersmen. Against the odds, they turned the tide at Trenton and Saratoga, survived Valley Forge, and Yorktown, securing independence and giving birth to the United States of America. Before radios and field phones, sound was the signal. In the Continental Army, fifes and drums carried commands across the chaos of battle, telling soldiers when to advance, retreat, eat, even when to rest. That legacy actually lives on today with the U.S. Army Fife and Drum Corps, part of the 3rd Infantry Regiment known as the Old Guard. Founded back in 1960, they're the only unit of their kind in the armed forces. Performing in uniforms patterned after those worn by General Washington's musicians. Playing period instruments with patriotic precision, they bring history to life, sharing the sound and spirit of the Revolution through more than 500 performances each year, both at home and around the world too. The Old Guard, fight and drum corps, everybody!
I got a Mazzado knife, and what followed was an absolute fiasco. So I almost made the dump.
And now, from high above, ladies and gentlemen, celebrating 250 years, your United States Army parachute team, the Golden Knights. Descending at over 120 miles an hour, the Golden Knights are using flexible gliders to maintain their formation. They open their main canopy simultaneously and negotiate with I'll tell you, they can't hear you, but they sure can see you. You can give them a great big wave, ladies and gentlemen, the Golden Knights, the finest parachuting team in the world.
For a #1 parachute in the U.S. Army.
Fort Sumter in 1861, a nation divided. Over 4 billion years, nearly 2 million soldiers fought to preserve the Union. Among them, 5 future presidents and the first recipients of a brand new military decoration, the Medal of Honor. With independence won, our nation's westward expansion began. The Army moved in step, guarding settlers as native scouts lit the way. Immigrants joined the cause, and the Buffalo Soldiers etched a legacy of grit and honor across the American frontier.
Roa mea mai ni hoi ki makainga ki he laka
As
whakariari
they march
o
by, the soldiers'
US
uniform
Army.
signals their duty, their role, and their readiness. And by the late 1850s, official regulations outlined distinct looks, shaping the Army's identity and function across the force. Soldiers were issued 2 coats. One, a short sack coat for work and battle, with brass buttons and colored
The
trim
most
that marked their
powerful
rank.
army
Well, by
and
war, said
military in
that
the
rugged
world.
sack coat became the soldier's uniform of choice.
They were
As the war escalated, volunteer enlistment surged. Congress authorized support for a force of up to 500,000 new troops, answering the call to preserve the Union. As they were representing the Civil War era of our nation's history is the 4th Infantry Division based out of Fort Carson, Colorado.
Pero mo mea mai ni ki he kau puna whakamalu fo. I loa ki nau tolu the best parachute in the world. Yo mo tona mo to kau mai o mo mea mai e ni
From
ki
Fort
he
Cavazos, Texas,
Laka
the
Parade.
the 1st Cavalry Division
Whamanako
rides with
ta o
pride.
ua mea ni
Born
manoa.
from the thunder of horse cavalry traditions of the
US
Civil War,
Army.
the first team forged its reputation on the front lines of history. They stormed Manila with the flying column, charging the Pyongyang as the first to breach the line and face the brutal crucible of Ia Drang, the first of 13 named campaigns in Vietnam where they proved their mettle. Today, that same warrior spirit lives on. You'll know the name, and you'll know them by their iconic cap hats, elite soldiers, and cutting-edge equipment. Tough, fit, fearless. The 1st Cavalry Division is a lethal, disciplined force that stands ready to fight and win anywhere, anytime, and the legacy rides on. This is the CAV.
Toko lahe ka kai o nau mamata
Special
o nau
thanks
i
to our
he
sponsor,
audience. Ka kai na i he army, ka military. Ka kai Amerika.
I grew up on the banks of the Rio Grande and started exploring these majestic canyons.
Come to appreciate it. Folau mo ui nau dolo na palo i he military. Tau te whito ki he US Army. The most powerful army in the world. Ang di whanau koe nā koe kaha u ki nau tolu e whanua. Ki nau hoko koe kau sautia haaha ma Amerika. E lo koe tau whanau tonga. Kau wai
In 1914,
Alofi Junior na Asia ki he ata.
between
When it
European
is military,
alliances culminate in the
US
outbreak of
Army.
the First World War. The two sides engaged in a savage war of attrition, defined
Ai
by
atai na
opposing
me he
trenches,
taulahi
barbed
hono
wire, poison
Uluaki.
gas, and mass casualties.
World War
The United States initially maintained its neutrality, but was eventually drawn into the conflict in 1917. Despite having less than 130,000 soldiers at the beginning, the Army eventually grew to over 4 million, with nearly 2 million soldiers serving in Europe. In 6 months of fighting, nearly 50,000 Americans lost their lives, with another 190,000 wounded. The guns fell silent with the armistice of November 11, 1918.
He mea lere na he tahi wa whānoa. Ai military, army.
We continue on with more USA World War I rolling stock. This 1918 Dodge touring car was part of the legendary 1919 Transcontinental Convoy. 3,251 miles in 62 grueling days across the Lincoln Highway. Remember, no pavement, no GPS, and no power steering. Just grit, determination, and the drive to push Army mobility into the future. This car literally helped pave the way for the roads we rely on today, and reminds us when the Army moves, the nation follows. The 1918 Dodge touring car.
Salute aquí, para este video. Tên mai là Army Tahi và Tahabalu và Tau Lahi là nó Ulwaki.
Headquartered in New York, this is the 42nd Infantry Division Band. At the start of World War I, the 42nd Infantry Division was formed with troops from 27 National Guard units, stretching across the country like a rainbow. Composed of skilled musicians from all walks of life and professional occupations, they perform a variety of musical genres. Though their mission is primarily a musical one, the members were ordered into active federal service back in 2004 in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom. The band has also served in support of numerous state active duty missions, including cleanup efforts following Hurricane Sandy, distribution support during COVID-19, and recently, support for New York State Corrections. Commanded by Chief Warrant Officer 2, Ethan Wagner, and led by Drum Major Sergeant First Class Drew Gans, the band is performing Over There, written in 1917 by Broadway composer and recipient of the Congressional Gold Medal, George M. Cohan. Representing the World War I era is the 82nd Airborne Division, based out of Fort Bragg, North Carolina. You'll notice the unit is wearing replica World War I uniforms signifying the soldiers who served our nation during this time. When the Americans entered the Great War, our soldiers, under the command of General Blackjack Pershing, hit the trenches in the new standard. It was the olive drab winter service uniform. Now on their heads you see a steel helmet with sand-textured paint built to deflect deadly shrapnel from above. Not bulletproof, but battle tough. Nicknamed the Pershing boot, on their feet was the N1918 French boot. It was designed to survive the brutal grind of trench warfare. And on their backs, the field pack, rations, ammo, first aid, and a gas mask. Everything a doughboy needed to fight and to win.
Parade from another
Incidentally, the 42nd Infantry Division was deployed to heavy combat abroad and then deployed again in World War II, ultimately liberating the Dachau concentration camp. The 42nd responded to the terrorist attacks on 9/11. Later, the war on terrorism, the rainbow stretched across the world again, deploying in Iraq and Afghanistan. Thundering into view, the pride of Fort Sill, the U.S. Army Artillery Half Section. This is literally powered by horsepower and heritage. This elite ceremonial unit honors the legacy of the Army's horsepower artillery. With precision, discipline, and 6 majestic horses pulling a vintage 1918 caisson, the half section keeps tradition alive and rolling strong, representing the power, pride, and precision of America's field artillery. This is Fort Sill's finest, ladies and gentlemen. Special thanks to our sponsor, For Energy.
World
War II, a global fight for freedom. In history's darkest hour, the United States Army was on the front lines from the beaches of Normandy to the islands of the Pacific. The greatest generation faced down tyranny and turned the tide.
Army or military.
From bombers to fighters to transports, U.S. Army aircraft started to thunder across the skies in World War II. And take a look up there, ladies and gentlemen. Flying overhead right now. They are fast, they are fierce, and famously used to the Doolittle raid over Tokyo. Leading up front, the mighty B-25 Mitchell.
We're going to go B25.
Up next, the Cadillac of the Sky of the P-51 Mustang. From the sky, we're back down on the ground. In World War II, one vehicle led the charge, the legendary quarter-ton 4x4 command recon vehicle, the Jeep. You might have a Jeep in your driveway, but not like this. The U.S. Army truck quarter-ton 4x4 command reconnaissance, better known as the Jeep, was an iconic vehicle of World War II and was the world's first mass-produced four-wheel drive vehicle. The Army used the Jeep for almost every military activity, including command vehicles, scout cars, and medical ambulances. Fast, rugged, the Jeep became a symbol of American ingenuity. From Fort Bragg, North Carolina, this is the 82nd Airborne Ceremonial Band. The 82nd received the nickname All-Americans after a contest as it represented the diverse origins of its members from every state. This name remains today symbolized by their iconic AA patch. Fort Bragg's finest, ladies and gentlemen. Give them a big round of applause, the 82nd Airborne Ceremonial Band.
Fia ko tay. Lama gina mamata tono ki tau sotia America Army. Ayaw na wo.
In a global fight like World War II, the U.S. Army knew our troops needed more than courage. They needed innovation. Uniforms evolved for every environment, but olive drab remained the mark of the American soldier. Shaped by lessons from the trenches of World War I, the Army introduced two battlefield essentials: the M1 helmet, tough, stable, and built to protect under fire, and the M1 Garand rifle, powerful and fast, it gave American troops a very clear edge. General George S. Patton called the M1 rifle the greatest battle implement ever designed, and history proved it right. The 82nd Airborne Division. The unit is best known for their bravery on D-Day, when 12,000 parachute and glider troops destroyed German supply lines after fighting for 33 days straight. The 101st Airborne Division, based out of Fort Campbell, Kentucky, traces its lineage back to 1918, when it first established as the 101st Division. Known for their ability to rapidly deploy across the world, the unit has held a crucial role in operations since its inception. From parachuting behind enemy lines on D-Day to leading helicopter assaults in Vietnam, the 101st redefined modern warfare. In the 50s, the Screaming Eagles stood tall at home, protecting the Little Rock Nine during the fight for civil rights. In recent decades, they've been sent across the world with stints as far as the Middle East, where they took part in Operation Desert Storm and participated extensively in the war on terrorism in Iraq and Afghanistan. The Screaming Eagles continue to lead the way as tomorrow's division in today's Army. The iconic Sherman tank is here, ladies and gentlemen. It was the cornerstone of the U.S. Army, showing its military might in World War II. It became one of the most influential tank designs of the 20th century. The M4 tank was nicknamed the Sherman tank after Civil War General William Tecumseh Sherman actually was named by the British. With almost 50,000 produced during World War II, the Sherman tank was in active service until 1957.
You're about to lose $40,000 for your car accident because you don't know this one trick. Check this out. It turns out insurance companies use AI to calculate the lowest amount that they can pay you. Our AI flipped the script. It knows what you're actually supposed to be paid before they pay it out. It takes 30 seconds. You only answer 4 questions. Then boom, you see exactly what your car accident is worth. No lawyers, no insurance adjusters, and no BS. Just a real fat cash amount that you're owed for your recent car accident. Every day you wait is a day that they're keeping your money from you. So click the link below now, answer 4 simple questions, and see how much cash you're really owed for your car accident. Go click the link below now.
case, connect, it's the link down below and get paid. But that case, connect, case, connect. See how much you can get in 30 seconds for less.
In World War II, the M16 half-track was, of course, to be reckoned with. It was a self-propelled anti-aircraft weapon with speed, firepower, and grit. Nicknamed the meat chopper, its quad 50 caliber mount could unleash 2,300 rounds a minute. Quite devastating. It served through Korea, Vietnam, and beyond, and remains in use of U.S. allies to this day. The M16 half-track brings the fight wherever it rolls. The U.S. Army Transportation Corps motto states, nothing happens until something moves. That was never more true than with this. Look at this, the 2.5-ton Chevrolet Deuce and a half. 1,000 pounds of cargo and was the backbone of the Red Ball Express that kept the Allies supplied after D-Day in World War II. The Korean War, often referred to as the Forgotten War, began on June 25, 1950, with the North Korean Army's invasion of South Korea. A coalition of South Korea, the United States, and other United Nations members defeated the invasion and advanced into North Korea. The coalition fought and defeated 2 Chinese offensives in the spring of 1951. Armistice negotiations began shortly after that defeat in July of 1951, until the armistice was signed 2 years later in 1953. Combat consisted of small attacks, raids, and patrolling. During this war, the United States deployed approximately 6.8 million military forces to the Korean Peninsula. Special thanks to our sponsor, Coinbase. The A151 kept rolling along as the lightweight, high-mobility general purpose vehicle replacing the famed World War II Jeep in 1961. Officially named the Military Utility Tactical Truck, or MUT, most servicemen generally refer to it as a Jeep. The vehicle spanned more than 40 years in 4 manufacturers and were everywhere that the Army was deployed.
Sekolah Fokia Kakai Utigai Genau Mamata Ki Armia Americani.
Another rolled by earlier, and at 2.5 tons, this Deuce and a half, the M35A2 classic military transport truck, was a mainstay of the U.S. Army for decades, particularly during the Vietnam War and Operation Iraqi Freedom. The Deuce and a half proved its value in cargo, supplies, and soldiers. Its capabilities include up to 5,000 pounds off-road and 10,000 pounds on-road, making it ideal for moving just about anything. In the jungles of Vietnam, the U.S. Army faced a new kind of war. Helicopters became the new workhorses of battle, delivering troops, firepower, and supplies into some of the most unforgiving terrain on Earth. This is the U.S. Army in Vietnam, the era of air mobility, fierce firefights, and unwavering brotherhood.
Army.
And over the music marching through, the roar of these legendary Army helicopters takes to the air. Flying overhead right now, they help define the Vietnam War. That staccato beat of the rotor blades was a welcome sound to many troops mired in combat. From transport and medevac to close air support and reconnaissance, they brought the fight to the front and pulled the wounded to safety. The OH-6 Cayuse scouted the terrain with unmatched agility. The AH-1 Cobra, also nicknamed the Snake, brought serious firepower. Its slim design, as you can see here, helped it survive and thrive in hostile environments to protect soldiers below. And the icon of the era, the UH-1 Huey, the first turbine-powered helicopter in service with the U.S. military. There was nothing the Huey couldn't do.
Now your smartphone can help you do something really smart.
Right, Dad. Like adjust your mattress to the right firmness for...
General support, air assault, cargo transport, medic evacuation, and ground attack missions. The Cayuse, Cobra, and Huey, ladies and gentlemen, three iconic Army symbols in the sky. The 1st Cavalry Division Band, based out of Fort Cavazos, Texas, has played a vital role in U.S. military history. Since its origins back in 1855 as the band of the 2nd Cavalry, it has supported operations from the Civil War to Desert Storm. Over time, it's evolved into a powerful force using music to strengthen bonds between soldiers and engage with communities. From World War II in Korea to the Vietnam War in Bosnia, the 1st Teen Band has enhanced morale and upheld the division's enduring legacy. Today, the band continues its mission using music to shape perceptions, foster trust, and promote national Army and division interests. Standing ready to serve, it remains an enduring symbol of the 1st Cavalry Division's legacy and commitment to duty. The band performs Hit the Leather and Rum, March to Close by Captain Robert Meredith Wilson. This piece reflects the cavalry's transition from horses to mechanized warfare, capturing the speed, the resilience, and the tradition of the division. From Fort Cavazos, Texas, everybody, the 1st Cavalry Division Band.
1st Cavalry Division Band. Commander-in-Chief military American.
The U.S. Army deployed large numbers of troops in support of the Vietnam War. The first contingent of U.S. Army advisors arrived in Vietnam in the late 1950s, and that quickly grew to a small team of around 100 soldiers, which then expanded to more than 600 over the next decade. As the war intensified, troops' numbers quickly grew as the war between the South Vietnamese government and the communist insurgents supported by North Vietnam intensified. By January 1969, more than 364,200 soldiers organized around 7 divisions and 20 separate combat brigades. The United States began withdrawing its forces in July of 1969, and the last Army combat unit left South Vietnam in August of 71. The last U.S. combat soldier came home March 1973, while a small number of non-combat personnel remained until April 1975.
So nasina ni U.S. Army.
Representing the Vietnam War era is the 101st Airborne Division based out of Fort Campbell, Kentucky. The unit is wearing replica Vietnam War uniforms signifying the soldiers who served our nation during this time. Blistering heat, thick humidity, and unforgiving terrain demanded uniform innovation. And the Army, they delivered. New lightweight uniforms were constructed to move with the soldier. The M16 replaced the redesigned combat. Body armor got smarter, jackets and trousers got lighter, and field equipment was reimagined to meet the mission head on. Gone were the heavy Mickey Mouse boots replaced by canvas tropical combat boots that offered better grip, faster drying, and all-day endurance.
Lakai US
Special thanks
Army.
to our sponsor,
Tako
Oracle.
uang yang di manoa ai kamata ai US Army. Hange go ia bersama tala nai fofo kamata ai US Army ya I he fonua. Koi taimina Gulf War.
When Saddam Hussein's Iraq invaded Kuwait in August 1990, the U.S. Army deployed to Saudi Arabia to deter further Iraqi aggression in the region for what was known as Operation Desert Shield. By the fall, more than 750,000 troops comprising U.S. service members and coalition partners from more than 30 countries had assembled in the Saudi Arabian
President Bush.
In mid-January 1991, the U.S.-led coalition began Operation Desert Storm, which kicked off with an intensive air campaign designed to knock out key Iraqi infrastructure and weaken Iraqi forces. The ground offensive was launched in early 1991, where military forces overwhelmingly destroyed enemy tanks and vehicles. After only 100 hours of ground combat, coalitions liberated Kuwait, and the Gulf War ended with Iraq's surrender.
Yeah. Puke po mulai Saddam Hussein. A lot of air kakayo Iraq.
From Fort Riley, Kansas, this is the 1st Infantry Division, one of the Army's most storied divisions.
I'm Craig Newmark. I'm the guy who started some.
Nicknamed the Big Red One because of the distinctive red on their unit patch. As the oldest continuously serving division in the U.S. Army, the unit has participated in every major operation since World War I, living up to its motto, no mission too difficult, no sacrifice too great, duty first.
No mission.
The 1st Infantry Division was originally established as the 1st Expeditionary Division in 1917 and spearheaded the American Expeditionary Forces in France. In World War II, the fighting first stormed Omaha Beach on D-Day and liberated Nazi concentration camps. The highly decorated unit has had 37 members of the Big Red One awarded the Medal of Honor. In Washington, D.C., the 1st Division Monument stands in President's Park, memorializing those who died while serving in the 1st Infantry Division. Ladies and gentlemen, they are the Big Red One, the 1st Infantry Division.
1st Infantry Division. I got ahead your Army. 1st Infantry. I identify it
During Operation Desert Storm, the anti-Brazilian fighting vehicle proved its value on the battlefield. It is fast, it is tough, and it is lethal. Named for General Omar Bradley, a leader of the Spring class of 1916, the Bradley was built to carry troops into combat with protection and power. Armed with a 25mm chain-driven cannon and twin-tube launched optically tacked wire-guided missiles, it played a critical role in the ground assault into Iraq. While it looks and sounds like a tank, it is technically a self-propelled howitzer and was first introduced back in the 1960s. Over the years, it's been upgraded to perform in versatile battlefields from Vietnam to the Soviet Union to Iraq.
Army. Fai Maria mamma papai and now pore aqui. I va facultau americani. Anche con famatalato con la che di nautolo na I tau. When auto velio mamata falamoni. A powerful military American. So they are attacking. Salute my Palestinian. I have a commander in chief. I feel my care. Nau sio ka nau pore. I e waa whakautau Amerikani nau whakaawao I mamani. The most powerful military in the world. Our U.S. Army. Nahi atau ke. Abe fokia fia e kau sotia. Nau mamata ki he pou e kakai, fia e kakai. Nau pore aki. Ai waka whakautau. The most powerful military army in the world. Kautau nau whakaawao I mamani. Koe waka whakautau nau whakanofo a mamani.
In the Gulf War, no division hit harder or moved faster than the 1st Armored. The 1st Armored Division, nicknamed Old Ironsides, is the oldest, most recognizable armored division in the United States Army. As part of the buildup for World War II, cavalry and reconnaissance units were brought together to form the 1st Armored Division in 1940. In the Gulf War, no division hit harder or moved faster than the 1st Armored. Old Ironsides really during Desert Storm, they engaged in some of the largest tank battles in Army history. There were decisive victories shattering enemy formations. Based in Fort Bliss, Texas, America's tank division is currently supporting missions in 20 countries across 5 continents. From World War II to today, Old Ironsides remains battle-proven and always ready.
Always ready. Misiona foki ai military me kwa army Amerikani. Kei kuna kwa tamate I asiri. Fofo whainga maria ni ke kakai ke nau mata. Ai ngahi waa kehe. My army. Wana whatauki a kehe. Wakai mai ki he. Fau a whakautau Amerikani. Koe army beni. Tige kau mai gaya Navy, Marine, Air Force. O paredi koe ni koe army a whakatau. Whakamanatu e tau e uangea ni manoa. O whakatu o e army Amerikani. Kau so di ani o nau. I he feitu ke he mamani. Kai o ui ai ki mako. Na was mateu. A feitu upe a ke ki nau. O whaki mo ui a ke ko whelau lau. Fire ki nau tolu na sai ki
First
nau.
used in Operation Desert Shield and Desert Storm, the M119 howitzer brought precision firepower to the front lines.
Desert Storm.
The larger artillery
Tau
is
ko
built
ia
for the
me
infantry
Iraq.
brigade, able to fire high out of the air or directly at the target, depending on the mission. Whether used in battery formation or as a standalone support weapon, the M119 delivered reliable, responsible fire when it mattered most. Still in service today, including on the front lines in Ukraine, it remains a trusted part of the Army's arsenal.
Tau ko kia has Desert Storm ho ki me kai na mau mo be ai de. E hanga ko ia Saddam Hussein o pure whenga ke pure I pa mo Kuwait. Kore rewa Kuwaiti I Amerikani ke nau ofa ange o whakataua tāna ke nau tolu mea Saddam Hussein. Kai mea President Bush. Mea whai mea
Special thanks to our
so
sponsor,
kore rewa
UFC.
President Bush. Ke whakatauta e kau tau Amerikani I Iraq. With Desert Storm. O nā whehanga ai pia mo e kau tau Iraqi. O whai hono te ke o au ki loto Iraq. Hangai e waa whakautau Amerikani. O puke ngani whetu lahi Iraq. O nā kumi a Saddam Hussein. Pia hola rewa Saddam Hussein ke toi. The powerful military American
terrorists destroyed the World Trade Center in New York City and struck the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. using commercial airliners. In response, the U.S. launched the global war on terrorism. The U.S. would stop potential threats around the world and take the fight to terrorist groups and the nations that back them. The Army immediately deployed forces to Afghanistan to destroy Osama bin Laden's Al-Qaeda, terrorist organization, and oppose his sponsors, the Taliban. The 2003 President Bush expanded the war to Iraq. Soldiers and other armed services overthrew Iraq's dictator Saddam Hussein. The fight to stabilize Iraq and prevent terrorist groups from overthrowing its new government continues to this day. The campaign in Afghanistan lasted until 2021 when U.S. forces withdrew. Taliban returned to power. Over the course of the 2-decade conflict, over 2 million servicemen and women, +% of the American population, deployed in support of the global war on terrorism. Most of those who served were members of the United States Army.
Fado dai ke sau ne me a bin Laden in that fight. Me ada tau be ma Saddam Hussein ma o bin Laden. Tama te. Oia mo toma mea mai fo ki hoi. Kai na ki US Army Parade. Ta o ua kia ni manoa e kamata. Ai U.S. Army, whakakautau the most powerful military in the world. Amaratu kia Alice Lucy, God bless Dr. Solomon for his marvelous work in my life. Ke hoi magainga, koe whamare moare atu ki owa e tau taimi pia mei he. Ka koe ngataanga ia o e whakahoko POLOKALAMA ki he ahoni. E ki whatongai alu e taimi ka u. Whafoke atu e taimi ki a sundu ala makahini pia Emily Tofu. Ki ngai POLOKALAMA o ku hoko mai. Tua whātu ka se mispome pia mei he whe unukoula e tonga mei. Los Angeles, Hollywood, California. Mo mea, tua whātu. ofla hia tu te motor no ko tope me para wa pe ke o tua ke ne vai ta ko ki na ke motor no ko tope me a tu ama